What's up everyone, it's Messier, welcome back to another video. Today marks episode 2 hopefully of the Day in the Life series. It's just going to be me working, if I'm being completely honest with you. Yes, I'll take you with me to show you exactly how the day in the life of a trader in Dubai actually looks like. It's not as glamorous as people make it out to be, right? There's no fancy cars every single day, there's no yachts every single day, absolutely not, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you really want to get to that next level, then you're just going to primarily work, right? And a lot of my friends literally just work. A lot of my friends who do like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, all they do is work. Realistically, if you want to get to that next level, then you have to work. Nobody, and I'm telling you, nobody can maintain a Dubai lifestyle unless you put the work in. Because you'll find yourself out of money very, very soon. There's a great saying that goes, if you want to buy things without looking at the price, you have to work without looking at the clock. Take that with you. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and grab breakfast really quickly. I'm just going to go ahead and take the car. Cold start the car for you guys. Neighbours don't really like it, to be completely honest with you, but jump downstairs, grab some breakfast. Purple material. Listen to this is crazy work. So, first of all,
myself, I wanna come alive, I wanna feel the love go into overdrive.
This car is a different level, but essentially the most important thing now is eat up, fuel up and get back to work. Realistically, nothing too crazy. A lot of people ask me questions, like they see my probability based approach and they always ask me like, Messier, why do you use probability? Why are you so focused on probability? And the truth of the matter is, probability allows you to think on a macro level. And if you think on a macro level, what ends up happening is you end up becoming so much more profitable. You start to think in a way where today's trade doesn't count. Do you know what I'm saying? It's about my next 10 trades, my next 20 trades. And given that you have a decent risk to reward, what ends up happening is over a large series of trades, you're gonna find yourself profitable simply because your risk to reward combined with a 50 to 60% win rate strategy, that gives you a positive profit expectancy, right? How? The only times where you have a negative profit expectancy is when you're using 1-to-1 R with like a 50% win rate, or when you have like a 1-to-3 with a 25% win rate, for example. That's like breaking even, that's zero profit expectancy. But essentially, if you have a positive profit expectancy and you gather that and you understand that by doing all of your back testing, you can then take that into the real world scenario and think of it on a macro level, right? We don't care what happens in today's trades, right? Because of random distribution, we don't know if today's trade's gonna be won, if tomorrow's trade's gonna be lost. We have absolutely no clue. So realistically, the most important thing is to understand that random distribution is basically what determines the order of which you lose and win trades. If you think on a macro level, that'll allow for you to really let your edge play out. Because if you find that your strategy has like a 60% win rate over 500 trades, in a live market, you haven't taken 500 trades to say, look, my strategy hasn't worked. You've taken 5 trades, maybe all of them have gone to stop loss, but that doesn't mean your strategy isn't going to work simply because of the nature of random distribution, right? If you've come to find that over 500 trades, you have like a 60% win rate or even a 50% win rate with 1-to-2 risk to reward, in order to see the number of trades that and to see that actually come close to your expected win rate, then you have to let your edge play out and you have to take 400-500 trades. If you've done your back testing over 400-500 trades, why are you taking 5 trades and expecting like a 60% win rate? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if we flip a coin 10 times, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to get 5 heads and 5 tails. However, if I were to flip it 100 times, that comes so much closer to my expected value of 0.5 probability. Even if it's like 0.42, 0.44, 0.46, it's going to be around 46 heads, 54 tails, or vice versa, something along those lines, right? Just a brief example there. And that, as a probability, is 0.46 to 0.54. In order to see your profit expectancy, you have to let your edge play out, and in order to let your edge play out, you have to take trades being completely disciplined, understanding that over time you're going to make money. All you have to do is sacrifice how you feel in the moment, and over a month you're gonna find yourself with a whole load of profit. You know what I'm saying? That's what you probably should say. To be honest, I didn't end up recording much, but I did end up taking a trade which made me just about $4,500 using the exact same concepts I've been teaching for a very, very long time. Yeah, so first things first, what we saw here was I understood that price was bullish on the 15-minute time frame. As we can see, price was bullish. Obviously, we've had our break of structure, and then price started to retrace back. So usually, as we know, price does something like this, retraces back, causes that swing low, and then continues bullish, whatever the case may be. In a more realistic market, I've been there so many times before, that's something along these lines. But obviously, this is still a bullish trend, right? Something along those lines, and that's how the markets essentially move. So realistically, what ended up happening here is we've identified this 15-minute zone. This is a point of interest. Price taps into this point of interest. Let me even go back here. Okay, price taps into it. Essentially takes out all of this liquidity over here. This is all liquidity, all right? This is all liquidity. And then causes this as well, which we can label as liquidity as well. Let me go ahead and remove the price. Obviously leaves the D on IDR range, and that's why I based my trade on. Price, it breaks that liquidity, and then essentially I jump onto a lower time frame, and I jump onto the 1 minute, quite frankly. And yes, even though our 15-minute internal low is bearish, my expectation is that price is going to continue to move towards that break of structure. So I jumped onto the 1 minute time frame and I waited for a change of character. And as soon as that change of character occurred, well, no, what I had actually done was I marked out my fib zone using the premium and discount zones over there, and then I just waited. I wanted to get to see price actually pull back into this area over here, and which is obviously what it did, as we can see. So it touches this 50%, and when price actually touched that 50%, well, the 50% is here, but it touches the 50%, and then we can also identify that there is a 1 minute point of interest over here, which to me, 1 minute points of interest aren't super significant, but you know, we can take trades off of them. And then obviously I just targeted this, and this is essentially how the trade played out. Very, very beautifully, to be honest. I had to move stop loss to break even as soon as this got taken out. Usually I would move it probably around about here, but I was a little bit more confident in this trade, so I ended up letting it play out. And there we go, 1 to 4R, making me just around $4,500 US. It's gonna be it. There's not much more than that, to be honest. Hope you've enjoyed this vlog. I didn't actually record the entire day, but you know, we're starting to get there. Hopefully, as time goes on, as time progresses, we'll literally be able to record the entire vlog without actually forgetting. Hopefully that's been valuable. If you do have any questions in terms of how I trade, etc., by the way, you don't have to make everything difficult for yourself. You can keep everything simple. But if you do have any questions, go ahead and drop me a message and I'll be sure to answer those. If you need help, like one-to-one help, then go ahead and go to the first link in the description. You'll be able to book in a completely free strategy call with myself, and I can potentially help you hopefully get to that next level. It's going to be it from me, and I hope to see you in the next one.